Hello, all my friends. It's Pam from GlamJunkJournals. Thank you for being here with me today. I am excited to be back with another tutorial. This is one of my quick and easy tutorials. And I've got to tell you, with the holidays right around the corner, everyone just gets so busy. And so I've decided to get a jump on my holiday junk journals. And for this particular journal, I am using the gorgeous kit from Uniquely Ella. It's called Christmas Ball. And let me show you some of the pages. I haven't printed it all right here, but I love the vintage aesthetic and the pops of that traditional green with the reds. It's absolutely beautiful. And I can't wait to use these papers in my current journal. They're just gorgeous. So I will put a link in the description box for Uniquely Ella's Etsy shop. And I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for being here with me today, and welcome if you're a new subscriber. And thanks for all my existing subscribers. I really appreciate all of you guys. I have not been doing as many tutorials over the last couple weeks. I've had a couple personal things going on, and we've had some out-of-town guests. And like I said, with Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'm going to have family coming in. So you know how it goes. We just get busy, and life gets in the way sometimes of crafting, but I'm super excited to be here with you today. So like I said, we are doing one of my quick and easy tutorials. And, you know, I've got to say that to create ephemera and things for your junk journals, they don't have to be complicated. And this is one of those projects that is not going to take a lot of time, and the results are fabulous. This is what we're going to be creating today. This is my lace and paper ephemera. And I just love this, and it's so simple, and it can be used for so many different things. This could be a tag, this could be a journal topper. If you make two of these, you could hinge them together and it could be a booklet. I mean, these are just wonderful. You could also hinge these to a page of your junk journal, and it could be a little fold out. So we're going to create one of these today. So all you're going to need is some paper. Now what I've done is I've chosen one of the pages from Uniquely Ella's kit, and I've torn it down. And I did print this on the 48-pound cardstock. It's a little bit heavier than a copy weight, and I think it just holds up better. And as you can tell, I've already used half of this. If you look at Uniquely Ella's Etsy shop, this was a full page, and she was on the top of this digital right here, and we're going to use this one on the bottom here today. So like I said, all you're going to need is whatever image you want to use. You could use a book page, you could use scrapbook paper, whatever you like. And what I've done is I've torn it down. And this particular example, measures 4 by 6. And I wanted to create one that was a little smaller for today's tutorial. So what I've done is I've torn it's actually part of this page here. I've torn this down to be a 3 by 5. And you're going to need 2 torn pieces of paper, one for the front and one for the back. And so what I would like to do is have this gorgeous image, this lady, to be the front, just like this one here. And I'll leave that, where should I put that? Over there. I'll move these beautiful digitals out of the way here. And as you can tell, I've already cut up a bunch of the other ones that I'm using in the journal. This kit is so pretty. I'm telling you what, it's fabulous. So I like the torn edges. It just, to me, evokes the vintage vibe and the time-worn look, which is what I am definitely a fan of. So I am just going to tear this down to be hopefully about the same size. And of course you have to save that. Of course you do, right? And I'm going to tear the other side here. And it doesn't have to be exact. It actually, I think, looks kind of cool when they're not exactly the same. And then we're going to go and do each side. So I'm going to tear this down along here. And I've got to tell you a little story. I don't know if you guys have seen my YouTube short that I just put up. That shows all of the materials and things that I'm going to be using for this particular journal. And it's so funny because I gather a whole bunch of material and then I end up not using it all because there's so much of it, but that's okay. And the funny story with that is when I was in Texas about a month ago visiting my daughter and son-in-law and grandson, my son-in-law said, I think there's a store that you may like. And I'm like, oh, what's that? It's called Austin Reuse, and it's all donated craft supplies. Oh my goodness. When I was there, I'm telling you what, it was fabulous. So, I mean, I got this there, I've got that fabric there, and I've got that fabric, and a whole bunch of other fabrics for future junk journals. And the one that I'm using for the cover, I shouldn't tell you this because I always want it to be a surprise, but that's okay. This is a torn piece of the fabric that I'm using for the cover of my next journal. Isn't that beautiful? And I got that there. Oh my gosh, I just love that. So anyway, sorry, I get distracted here. So after you have your torn piece of whatever image you want, I am going to distress the edge just to take the whiteness down a little bit because I do like that. I don't care for the white edges here. So just a quick distress on that. And then what I want to do is I want to add some gold around the edges. And I don't know if you can see that, but you can see along the side there that I did add some gold. Now there's a bunch of different ways to add gold. You could use a gold leafing pen, which I have used. This one's getting a little dry. I may have to get another one, so that's why we're not using that today. You could do some gold stickles. Those are always fun. But today what we're going to be using is this washable watercolor paint. And I got this on Amazon. And we also used this in the retreat that I went to earlier this year. And this is a great find. And so I'll put a link in the description box for this. You can get it on Amazon. And we're going to use that today to go around the edges here. And before I get going, I'm going to put my little paint mat down because I am a messy crafter. I don't know about you guys, but I am a messy crafter. So I'm going to just get some of this out here. And this stuff works really, really well. It's really fun. And I am just going to go around the edges. And I like it when it's uneven. So I'm going to have some areas that are, you know, thicker than others and some not quite as thick. And I just think that that is really pretty too. You could also do the gold leaf. That's always fun too. So there's so many different ways to add some little bling and some added sparkle to your pages here. So I'm going to go around both of these real quick. And this takes probably, I don't know how long to dry, maybe 10 or 15 minutes here. So I'm going to set that one down and I'm going to do the same thing on this one. And like I've said before, I love when things are torn. It makes the image just, I don't know, gives it a whole new look. And I just think that that's fabulous. I think this is even prettier torn than when it was a full page. And the full page was gorgeous. Do you guys know what I mean? I just love that. I love torn paper. So I hope you guys are all doing well. I think about you guys all the time, and I'm so happy you're here with me. And so I'm just excited about this journal. It's going to be really, really fun. Oh my gosh. You know, and like I said, I'm always inspired by the things around me and the things that I find at thrift stores and all of that kind of stuff. So there you have it. Easy enough, right? So we've got the front piece, which is going to be this one, and the back piece, which is going to be that one. Now, what I want to do is stop the camera because this does need to dry, and I'll be back as soon as it's dry, and we'll continue on putting these together. Hold on just a minute. All right. Easy enough. This took probably about 10 or 15 minutes. And you know, if you wanted to hurry things along, you could always use a blow dryer or your heat gun. But let me show you what else I did. And this is just a little added embellishment, is I just took my paintbrush and dotted over the top and patted it around. Now you could also use a sponge. I do have a sponge that you could do that. And that's just a little bit of added sparkle. So now we're on to the next step. I always like to layer, as you guys know, and what I did on my example is I did add some of my distressed tape, and then as you can see right along here and right along here, I added some additional paper. So we're going to do that, and we're also just going to cut down the lace section. So in addition to just a regular whatever paper you're going to be using, is to get some lace. And the lace that I used was a vintage, I think this was a doily. I got this at an antique shop, and I just cut it down. So I cut this down to be a little bit larger than the image itself because I want it to stick out, but I don't want it to stick out on both sides. I want it to stick out on one side. And so I could do it either way here. And I haven't decided which way I'm going to do this, meaning which way is going to be the, what am I trying to say? The flat side where there's not a lot of lace sticking out. And I think I'm going to do it this way, meaning on this one, I had the straight edge of the lace on the left side. I'm going to do this one on the right side. So I'm going to cut this down, and you can leave your lace around the border however wide you want. That really doesn't matter. It's all personal preference. So I'm going to cut this down just a little bit larger than the image itself. And of course you have to save this, right? Oh, love that stuff. Love that stuff. And I'm going to fray the top just by, you know, pulling a little bit of the threads here. You have to be careful with this stuff because it does tear very easily. So I'm going to pull that just to give it a little bit of a distressed edge, a little bit of a distressed look there. And you can do as much or as little as you want. And so that is going to go over the top like so. And then it's going to be the same on the other side. I'm just going to flip that over. All right, so we'll do that. But in addition, I did want to add those little layering bits. So I want to do that on the front here. Now let me think about this here for a minute. Do I want to add, I do need to add this little side bit before I glue it down. So we're going to do that on the front here. And what I've chosen for that, and I kind of like, what am I trying to say here? More of a neutral, since I have a lot of vibrant colors going in this particular image. So what I've chosen was a vintage stock certificate. This is a stock certificate from France that I have taken a copy of the original, And I just really like this border. I just think it looks really cool. So that's what I'm going to use on this. You could also use a music sheet, you know, whatever you want. But I like to pair the neutrals in contrast with these very vibrant patterns. And that's just how I like to do that. And another thing that I just thought of, you could do this with fabric. That would be really cool. You don't have to use lace. You could just use a piece of fabric, and that would be really cool too. So I'm going to tear this down. And like I said, this is just a copy, so I've got, you know, I've got a lot to work with here. And I want to layer that just so it sticks out on the bottom here. But I want, now what I'm doing here is I got to remember I'm doing it on the opposite side, right? Because I tend to create things and they look the same on, meaning I always like to do this on the left side. But I'm not going to today. And I like to layer so that it's not exactly even. Meaning I'm going to pull the pattern down just a little bit. And then I'm going to tear that off, distress the edge here and kind of rough it up because I think it looks, there again, you know, like the time-worn look. So I'm going to distress the edge on that. And I just like the scrolly pattern. I love that. Absolutely think that that is fabulous. All right, so I'm going to put that down, and maybe I'll have it so that it goes up a little bit on this one, like so. I don't know. I haven't decided. Here, let's move this around. See, I think that looks really, really good. I'm going to distress the bottom of that just because I don't like the whiteness showing through. So that's going to go right along the bottom and just kind of fold that up, you know, just to give it, make it look old, make it look old. All right, so there's that. So I am going to keep that the way it is, and we're going to glue the back side on. So move that guy over. And I have to make sure that I have my writing right side up because I am notorious for putting things on and not looking which way the wording goes and putting things upside down. So, all right, now come on here. It's got a little bit on the top. It was clogged here. All right, so I am just going to lay this little bit down and position it like so. All right, and let's see on the other side if it looks good. It does. Look at that. It looks fabulous. I'm going to move it around just a little bit to make sure that it's, you know, kind of, so it's not sideways. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to glue that down. So we're going to just put some glue, and I'm just using Fabri-Tac here, or Fabri-Fix, whatever the heck you want to call it. It's the same thing. I'm going to put that down, and then this over the top. Oh, that looks really good. That looks so good. Let me get this glued down. So yeah, these are so fun, and you can create these any size. They could be big, they could be really big, they could be really small. They would look really cute, really small, I think. All right, I'm gonna make sure that I can see all that and get that stuck down. And this is a little sideways, so I'm gonna have to move that around. Actually, maybe not. I think that looks kind of cool like that. Let me see. But no, you know what? I'm gonna move it. And this is as you go crafting, so I am going to make sure that I have the back side. It was a little too sideways for me. And that's one thing about Fabrifix is you can move it around. It doesn't dry so quickly that you can't adjust things. There we go. That looks really, really good. Just like so. Look how good that looks. I've got a little bit of overhang right here, and that's okay, because what I'll do is I will just distress the back of that and glue that down. Look at that. Oh, so fun. Oh, it looks so good. And then this little bit that we tore off, I think I'll just put that right along the back side. Now, do I like this better? I don't know. I think that looks pretty good because it kind of brings the front to the back, meaning making it cohesive here. Let's see, which one do I like better? Oh, I don't know. I kind of like that one. And these little bits, they're so fun. So fun to just add on. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Put that right along there. Oh, that looks so good. That just looks so good. It's so much fun, you guys. Oh, I just love this. So from here, what I did on my original is I did sew around the edge. Oh yeah, and I do want to put some tape on there, so let me do that. Just put a little distress tape somewhere on here to make it look, you know, even more aged. I don't know. Let's see. What do you think? I think it looks good right along the bottom there, just like that. Look at that. That's so pretty. I don't know. Let's see on the other side. I've got some more tape here. Just put it along, right along the edge there. I don't know. I kind of like it just right like that. And you can scrunch up your tape to kind of make it look, you know, even more old, like that. Oh, that looks so good. Doesn't it look good, you guys? Oh my gosh. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew around the edges, and then we're going to put the finishing touch on this. So hold on just another minute, and I'll be right back. All right, thanks, guys. I am back. Just sewed a decorative stitch around the edge. That's definitely an optional step for sure, but I like the way that it looks. And now the final touches. Oh, this is so fun. So like I said, I think I told you guys this earlier, this is the fabric that I'm using for the cover of my current journal that I got at that Austin reuse shop. Oh, and I thought, does this evoke vintage Christmas or what? So what I've done is, these are just some of the offcuts, is I've cut two little tabs, and these could also be hinges. So what I want to do is just add those across the side there, along the side, and I'm going to tack those down. I think it just adds such a finishing touch to these cute little bits of ephemera here. And like I said, you could use these as tags. Oh, you know, the possibilities are endless. You can clip them onto a page or tuck them into a pocket or a belly band. Oh, I just think that they're just so fun, and they're so quick to come together, you guys. This is just the best. It's just the best here. I'm going to do that right along the side there, like so. Get that going on there. And you know me, more is more. Those look fabulous just like they are, but I want to add a little bit more bling to that. So I've got some sari trim here, and I want to put that right along the center there, and so that you can still see a little bit of the fabric that's underneath. I like that layered look. So I'm going to cut this off and do 2 strips that are about the same. One might be a little bit bigger because it's hard. I don't like to cut, you know, through the actual beads there. So I'm going to glue this on over the top of that. Flip that over and do the same on the other side. Oh, it just adds so much to it. And I want to make sure that those are stuck down. Get some more glue under that one. So make sure it's secure on there. I'm going to do the same thing on this one up here. And I really like the frayed, you know, edges of this because this was actually from some garment, which is just so cool. It's cool to think where these things came from, right? Get that stuck down there. Make sure that that's secure on there. I'm gonna need a little more glue because this trim is a little bit heavy. So I'm gonna need to make sure that that is secure on there. All right, those, oh, see now this side, it's not sticking down because, like I said, that piece of sari trim is a little bit thick. So make sure that that gets stuck down there. Get some more on there. Oh, that looks so good, you guys. Now, if you didn't want to do the additional trim, another idea would be add some buttons. Now, here I am. I'm layering even more. Put a button on it, or maybe a little dangle. You could have a dangle coming off the side there or along the top, and you never know, I might add that in addition. So like I said, I always say the possibilities are endless with these little bits of ephemera. You know, use your imagination, embellish till the cows come home. It's just so fun. So I'm gonna grab, this is a page from my journal, and just to show you how pretty these things look. So you could add this on the pocket along the interior like so, and add some ephemera behind there. Look how pretty that looks. Oh man. So that is really awesome. And then, well, let's see what we could do with this one. You could just clip it along the top here with my little embellished paper clip right along the top. And I just think that it adds so much to your page. And then you have a little pocket for some additional goodies underneath, like so. I could make a tall tag, which I might do. You never know what I'm going to do with these in this journal, but I hope this has inspired you to make some of these lace and paper ephemera bits. They're just so fun to put together. And like I said, the possibilities are endless as to how you create these, and they can be any aesthetic you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Like I said, it's one of those quick and easy ones. You can make a whole bunch of these and just have a, you know, mass making project. And it's just so fun. So thanks again for taking time out of your day to be with me, and I will see you in my next video. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.